God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Hi, I'm Melinda Van Fleet, and welcome to the Good Karma Success Coach podcast. I'm a success coach, speaker, and business consultant, and my husband Ryan and I were laid off at the same time 10 years ago. We moved to the Florida Keys without jobs, not knowing anyone, hardly any money, and we never even been here. But we made it, and now we're living our best lives. And all along on our journey, I've said that someday when we get our quote-unquote shit together, we will help others. And since then, we've both done a lot of self-work and built successful businesses. So that day is here, and one of my ways of paying it forward is through this podcast. Each week, my intent is to be relatable and bring you tactical tips, tools, share my learnings and stories that can help inspire or transform you wherever you are in your career or general life and make an impact. I strongly believe that if I can do it, you can do it too. So what's stopping you? Welcome to episode 55. And this has been the craziest few weeks. I'm sure everyone would agree with me, and it keeps getting crazier and crazier. I ditched my topic that I was going to talk about this week because Ryan and I were talking, and he just really felt that I should go this route. And it's funny that he brought it up to me this morning because I had woke up thinking about it too. So I have a really, really smart, very in tune husband, and very grateful and blessed. And anyhow, it was kind of funny. I said, actually, I've been thinking along those same lines, so I'm going to go with your suggestion. And that is to talk about what's going on in regards to the virus in comparison to what went on with Hurricane Irma, which was only a couple years ago. That was our first hurricane because we just moved to the Keys in 2009. And it was the same type of experience. Granted, they're different. I mean, someone could argue or comment or whatever. They're different. Yeah, yes, I get it. But it's like the whole United States, the whole world is going through what we go through for a hurricane. And it's quite amazing to be experiencing this from just a mindset, from a financial, a business, people you know. Gosh, if you are sick yourself, if someone you know is sick, if someone you know passed away, and how heartbreaking this all is. When Hurricane Irma was going to hit the Keys, my husband knew it. He goes, we're going to get hit hard. We need to go. And like I said, I listen to him. I do. And I was like, oh shit, he doesn't panic ever or freak out, and we're not panicky people. So I need to trust him and do what he says to do. So when we heard that Hurricane Irma was going to hit the Keys, that was a Labor Day. It was a Monday. And I was in Chicago with my family, flying back that day, back to the Keys. So he had started the prep already. He got gas in one car, stocked up on water, called his aunt to see if we could stay at her place up in Fort Myers, his aunt and uncle, and got that permission. And when I got back, we started boarding up and cleaning and doing the yard work and prepping everything that we could, because literally everything shuts down. Your brain just goes into panic mode in terms of prepping and what do you have to do. Business turns off fast, just like what we're experiencing. Customers were calling me, canceling orders, putting things on hold. I definitely wasn't making any money. Everyone was canceling their fishing charters. Ryan was having to make calls. What were we going to do with the boats? We had 2 boats at that time. What was going to happen? Putting up shutters is a pain in the ass, to be honest. So that was a whole day event because we have a lot of windows on our house. Helping the neighbors. It's a huge thing. Like, community comes together. So just as we're experiencing with the virus, with people helping each other, it's the same thing that we go through with a hurricane. Everyone starts banding together to help each other. But then you notice the complete assholes at the gas station just filling up container and container and container of gas and taking all the waters and not being like, okay, there's lots of us down here, and we all need some gas too, and we all need some waters. And you are just kind of being greedy, to be real honest. And we're seeing that as well in the grocery stores. We're seeing people stock up with things that they probably don't need. And honestly, I don't think for the virus you really need to stock up on water, but I guess if you want to spend your money and support Dasani and Aquafina and Publix and Winn-Dixie's water supply, go for it. They should make a nice pretty penny during some of this. Definitely just think about what you need and what you can be doing, and not from a level of panic. We stayed extremely calm during the whole hurricane. We were prepared mentally, even though it was our first one and we're not from South Florida. We're not even from anywhere that ever had hurricanes. We were very calm. We were very organized, and we kept really focused. And I knew that after the hurricane, assuming that it was really going to do damage in the Keys, we probably wouldn't be able to get back into the Keys. So we did plan to stay up in Fort Myers, and the reason we could do that was obviously we had a place to stay. We're very, very grateful and blessed in that regards. But also I knew I could work. And I was like, we're not great at chopping down trees and doing manual labor. We're just not. We weren't born with a handy gene. But I can still work and make money and then be generous when we go back to the Keys and eat out and tip generously and have cash to, give people. We definitely gave people that we knew that were hurting money for various reasons. And we were able to do things like that. So we just kind of stayed really focused on what we could do for ourselves and for others. And it worked out. It all worked out. We were able to come home safely. We were able to help others financially and in different ways. Because like I said, granted, we weren't chopping down trees like a lot of people, but I didn't have a chainsaw. And that's just not my skill set, to be really honest. But we could help in other ways. It's the same thing with the virus. How can we all just be kind to each other? How can we stay focused? Practice good sanitary. I've always been a hand washing freak. And I actually had a boss when I worked for Saks Fifth Avenue who was like Devil Wears Prada boss in a way, to be really honest. And it was the craziest thing. She never washed her hands after going to the restroom. And so there are people out there that truly don't wash their hands after going to the restroom. So yes, be a good person and wash your hands. It's just really not that difficult. Do it. And those are things that we can all do just to be nice to each other. And if you have an extra buck and you can go out to dinner, tip generously, because the restaurants are going to hurt. Stores are going to hurt. If you can go shopping and support a local shop, that would be awesome. You can check out my Facebook page, Quincy down in Key West, who shot my videos for my website. He's awesome. He did a post yesterday on how you can help people in Key West because the cruise ships aren't going to be able to dock there. And that's a good thing because we don't want the virus spreading, but that obviously then hurts the local businesses down there. So how can you support other people that are obviously going to be hurting during this time when they're not able to get business? And that's what we went through with Irma. That's exactly what we went through. And that's what any place that has a disaster, a natural disaster, whether it's the fires or tornadoes, a tsunami, a volcano, any earthquake, anything. That's what we went through with Irma. Is a lot of restaurants and hotels and stores really were hurting because, people canceled their vacations and they weren't able to come here. So it's the same thing. So if you're interested in helping people in Key West, or you can take that knowledge from that Facebook post and apply it to somewhere else in the world, that would be awesome. Personally, I am staying focused. I always have a huge to-do list of all these things I want to work on to move myself forward, my business forward, and also my husband's business forward, because as you know, I help my husband a lot with his business as well. We're a team. And my phone might not be ringing, but there's other ways I can use my time and energy in a good way. So work on your future goals, work on your business in other ways. Read a great book. Oh my gosh, I have stacks and stacks of books. Or revisit old content. Take some time to revisit old content. Call a neighbor or a friend or a family member that you haven't talked to for a while and just try to cheer them up. They might be struggling or going through something. Maybe there's someone that you know that could use a hug virtually, and you can just give them a call and have a nice conversation. Another idea, clean your house. That would be me. I could stand to do some yard work. So today I'm going to do some yard work, but I wanted to record this podcast first. So there's so many other things. If you could just take a moment, if you're really struggling, and just get out of your head, get out of the chaos, stop watching the news, stop reading bad things on the internet, stop looking at Facebook. And we all know that, but a lot of people just aren't doing that. And focus on something else. If you can get outside and the weather's good and you like to be outside, go outside. It's beautiful out. I had an amazing walk this morning. I'm so lucky. Saw beautiful pelicans and the water is so pretty and the sun. What can you do to just change your own energy, change your own mindset? Because you can't control this. You can only control what you can control. I have a little sign by my bed with that Serenity Prayer that I said in the beginning of this podcast. I bought that little sign when I knew years and years ago that I was going to lose my job. And this was prior to working for Shop NBC and getting laid off. It's a story I never talk about, but I will someday. I will. And I bought that sign when it was really bad and really dark because I knew I could not control what was going on with my work. I knew. I just knew. And it was stressful. Months and months. I didn't eat. I only drank Diet Coke, and once in a while I could have some macaroni and cheese, but I was super skinny, but it was not healthy. And I bought that little sign, and to this day, and it's been a long time because that was prior to Ryan, so gosh, 16 years ago, 15, I don't even know. That little sign still sits by my bed. And I personally don't consider myself a religious person. I definitely consider myself more spiritual, but I hope that no matter what you consider yourself, that you just recognize the saying for what it is in regards to controlling what you can control and the wisdom to know the difference. So with that, I'm giving everyone a hug virtually, thanking you for listening to my podcast, asking you to please be kind and courteous to everyone around you because we're all going through something and everyone could just use some kindness. Thank you for listening. If you like my podcast, I always love it when I hear that you shared with a friend or a family member. And please rate and review on Apple Podcasts. You can follow me on Instagram. It's Melinda_Van Fleet. And I also hang out on LinkedIn. So once again, thanks for listening. Till next time, be grateful, be curious, always be learning, and you know what? Have some fun too.